The final tutorial for this week is going to cover the creation of a basic set of handrails and some useful tools for creating handrails for the purposes of schematic design, which in the end is really what you're up to when you're in school or at the beginning of a project. And I'll be talking about things like handrail heights and some things that are closer to code requirements. But really what this tutorial is going to cover is a way to quickly and accurately make handrails that are a good close approximation and that you can use as a starting point for your designs in school. You can see here we're going to be working on a version of the stair tower created in previous tutorials. And this handrail consists of a top rail, which is of a circular cross section, and a series of vertical posts. And all of it is built off of a centerline curve geometry that we're going to spend most of our time creating at the beginning of this. In order to create the handrails, I've first made a sublayer under stair tower that I've called rail. And as with previous assignments, I'm going to be asking you to create handrails for each of your stair towers, and also to go back and put some handrails on the stairs that you make inside your pavilion, so you'll get a chance to practice handrail making in a lot of different ways. So to get started, I'll go through and I'll actually delete away the geometry that's here. I could go through and click on it. I could also use a selection set, and I could select things by color. And as long as I have nothing else of this blue color that's active right now, I can select by color, and I can select everything that is this color, and I can delete that and go back to the bare stair tower as my starting point. Now, as we've done in the past, and just to re-emphasize this technique, I'm going to change my construction plane for just a minute to get started. So I'm going to go back to the C-planes, and I'm going to build a new construction plane on this surface with this orientation. And I'm going to use that now, working in the rail sublayer, to create some geometry. I'm going to create a rectangle that is 2 inches square. So starting from here, and I'm going to say -2 inches. And I have this almost the way that I want it. I'll move this to the corner. And now I'm going to use a different view, perhaps the left-hand view, which I will maximize to see my stair tower. I'm going to work from the corner of this rectangle, which I know is here. I'm going to make a line segment from the corner of this straight up, and I'm going to make it 38 inches high. And the reason I'm going to make it 38 inches high is because that will give a good average between the height of a handrail, which needs to be between 32 and 34 inches generally, or 36 in some cases, and the height of a guardrail, which generally needs to be 42 inches above the tread of a stair. And if you look closely at stairs that you'll encounter that are code-compliant stairs, you'll see that there's a guardrail, which is the higher vertical surface, and a handrail, which is lower. Rather than get into that technical complexity, we're going to make a kind of hybrid that's in between the two that is good when you are just doing a preliminary design, a design for studio, or a design for visualization. I'm going to move the vertical curve that I made to the inside corner so that you can see it here in blue. I have a 2 inch by 2 inch square and a 38 inch tall line. I'm going to take those and I'm going to group those into one set of curve geometry. And I'm going to use this now to copy this vertical dimension with an offset from the stair tread and the edge of the stair to various locations, and I'll have to rotate it and whatnot. But this is useful rather than working off of the very corner of the stair, where when I create a circular pipe around this geometry, it would overhang the stair. I've offset it inward. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy it multiple times. from that corner, I'm going to come up 5 risers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. And 1, 2, 3, 4 to the top of the stairs. And I've got my first set of vertical geometry pieces for the stair. I'm also going to drop it into this corner. Actually, I'll put it near this corner. And I'll stop my copying there. I'll take this and move it from this corner to that corner. And now I actually could take this and turn the gumball on and rotate it around, holding Shift, so that I've got the vertical component on the inside corner. I can now use something like a mirror command. Let's say I wanted to take this and have it exactly on the other side of the landing. I can use mirror to quickly get it on the other side. With my O-snaps selecting the center point of the stair landing. I can turn gumball off for now because it's not helping as much. And now I want to get another copy of this over here, so I can begin to copy this multiple times from that position to this position. And then we're going to be coming up the stairs. In this case, I don't have an even number of treads to divide, so I'm going to put the next one up here at the very top of that run of stairs, and eventually I'll drop a vertical in the midpoint of that. And around the top of here as well, I'm going to be putting things at midpoint subdivisions. So what I really want next is to put one of these in the corner. And I can do as I did below. I can take this and I can move it to this position, and I could either use a rotate command or turn the gumball back on and take it and rotate it, holding Shift to get it orthogonally to the corner so that it's on the inside corner. And as we did below, I can use the mirror command to copy this to the far end of the landing over here. And what I have laid out are some of the basic vertical elements for the handrail that I'll be creating. What I can do now, turning gumball off, before I go in and put all of the rest of the verticals, some of which are going to be contingent upon different lengths, I'm going to start with the positions that I know, and I'm going to draw a polyline to start to represent the top of the stair rail. Notice that I'm clicking on the top end point of these. And I have a continuous polyline curve that, if you look at it, should follow the slope of the stairs. If it doesn't, you might have placed some of your verticals in the wrong point. And I'm starting to see what will look like our handrail. I want more vertical subdivisions in order to hold this up in a more believable way, kind of like we have on the near end of the stair. And so I'm going to start placing some vertical lines at various points, line segments from the midpoint, let's say, of this end. I want it to go straight down, so I'll work in a view like the left-hand view, and I'll hold Shift, and I'll only put it part way down. So when we go back to perspective, you'll see that I made a portion of this. I have nothing that I can click on that is reliable that's exactly 2 inches in from the end or the midpoint of the landing. So instead what I'll do is I will extend this, and I'll use the landing as the extension point. I can type in extend. This is a curve modification tool. It wants a boundary. I'll select the stair itself. And then when I select that vertical line, it now extends down to the proper place where it's needed. And so I'm going to use midpoints and other factors like that to create subdivisions. I'll do it again here. I might, because my my top curve for the handrail might need different subdivisions. I might need to do this differently. But for this vertical part, I can select the midpoint of this upward sloping handrail. Again, go to an orthogonal view where I can extend it downward using Shift, and come back and I'll see that I have that. It needs to be extended downward to come down and touch the stairs themselves. So I'll again use my extend command and select the stair as the boundary and this curve as the thing to be extended down. And I'll go around and do that around the edges of this. And get a series of verticals, all of which will be used along with this top rail to create the handrail itself. So again, working from the midpoint, going straight down, coming back, doing an extend. And so there are a number of places that I'll do this. In fact, along this long edge, I'll want to create some more geometry. Another line. I can use this midpoint to, again, subdivide with a line that I will then extend down. I can use a mirror command to duplicate this geometry around this other vertical. So I can select the geometry, start a mirror command, use this midpoint as the reference until I get the proper geometry. And then I'll make one more vertical before I turn these all into a simple maybe 1.5 or 2 inch diameter pipe. So I'll do, again, one more line segment from the midpoint. I'll use the extend command one last time to bring this curve down to the deck. And so you can see I have a wireframe geometry of the handrail that I want to create. I've made sure to set it in from the edge, and it's created with a series of groups of curves. I have to go and actually take care and get rid of some of that geometry. So I'm going to take my solid and hide it just so that I can see what I have here. I'm going to select all of the groups that I created at the very beginning of this process with the 2 inch square at the bottom. And I'm going to ungroup them, Control-Shift-G, so that they are ungrouped. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to actually delete the squares that are at the bottom of them, because we don't want those to be thickened up into the kind of pipe rail that we're going to be using for the handrail itself. And I can now also take all of this wireframe geometry and I can select all of it and I can join it together. And using another solid command, the pipe command, I can select this geometry and I can give it a diameter. In this case, I want, or a radius. In this case, it's asking for a radius, and so I could say 1 inch. And I have one pipe that creates the main outline of this. I can now select the other pieces of the wireframe and similarly pipe those to make the other verticals. So I'm piping again for a 1 inch diameter. And what you'll see is a series of pipes that create the handrails. They might look imperfect here. We could go in and put some radii into some of these corners to make them look a little smoother. But these will also render pretty cleanly when we make a final rendering of this. And so I'm going to accept all of that. I might select, in this case, all of the wireframe and hide that. So using a selection set, I'm going to select all curves. And I'm going to hide those. And I'm going to select all polysurfaces, which are all of these pipes. And I'm going to join those together. And let's make sure that they are joined. They're not entirely. So instead, I'll select all of those polysurfaces. and I'll group them, Control G. So at least we have them together as a grouped collection of polysurfaces that we can use in the future to apply materials and for rendering. I can now show everything else that we had there, and you can see this set of handrails that are in place for this diving tower. I'll ask you to create a basic set of handrails using similar techniques for each of the stair towers, and also to put some rails around the stairs and mezzanines in your pavilions. Thank you very much.